Здравствуйте, уважаемые зрители канала Anglerzoom.
That's the way our reports started from Czech Republic in the last weekend of April 2015, covering the third tournament of Trout Union Cup, well known to the world since 2012. The tournament was organized by TUCAS Association and Anglerzoom, represented by Mario Matjasic. Czech Fishing Union of North Moravia with Stanislav Pernisky, as well as representatives of the Silesian and Ostrava. Alex Soglaev acted as volunteer and field reporter for channel Anglerzoom. Through his reports, publicized by various TV and internet resources, many were able to observe the events of the tournament. Trout Union Cup happened to be a great event in the life of the city selected for the stage. Here it is Valašské Meziříčí, with history that goes back almost 1,000 years. The city government and personally the city mayor, Mr. Robert Stržínek, worked hard to create a positive atmosphere, and they fully succeeded, because everything was organized at a high level. Townspeople enjoyed watching the tournament, rooting actively, helping participants with trout packing, and brand fish menu appeared in the local restaurants. Trout Union Cup was among good and hospitable friends. Trout Union Cup, held for the third year in a row, has become interesting for many anglers, because it is a major event of stream trout, which is the classical style of fishing that involves representative of different school of this type of fishing. It's available tournament because conducted in small towns in Europe, where participants can get busy enough. It is full of emotion and adrenaline tournament, because coastal trout fishing, without a doubt, is the most dynamic and intense. Here one meets a lightning-like change of tactics, minimum of the high-tech assistive devices, with calculation only on one's own strength, and ability to cope with various types of baits, active search of fish, and fast moves around area of fishing. It's all about Trout Union Cup. Sport mood is emphasized with that each half round lasts only 45 minutes, of 4 tours for 2 days. So serious passion is maintained during both days of the tournament. Rules of Trout Union Cup are very close to the same of World Championships, and until this year, this contest wore the informal name Trout. This year, due to the fact that the Coast Championships in Ireland was held at the lakeside, Trout Union Cup all of a sudden appeared to be the only major international event in the stream trout fishing. Thus, the significance of Trout Union Cup gets higher for all those fans of this type of fishing. The number of those wishing to participate is large, and the organizers have set quotas. On the stage of the Cup in the Czech Republic came delegations from 12 countries. Each country may enter a maximum of 2 teams of 4 athletes. So 19 national teams were formed by, and 4 more teams were formed from fishermen just for individual competition. Each country can put only 2 representatives. The opening ceremony displays how personable Trout Union Cup became. We can say that here the cream of trout sport old world society gathered now in Valašské Meziříčí. The team of Bulgaria, 2-time Trout Union Cup winner Todor Kostadinov, and such a strong fisherman as Georgi Getov and Evgeny Bon, and Lubomir Boyadjiev, a young sportsman, debuted well in the last Cup. A powerful staff showed up to teams of Slovakia. Such names as Martin Forbach, Peter Hornok, Juraj Smatana need no introduction. The world champion athletes in the top 10 at the end of the World Cup 2014. Czech fishermen claimed the 2 teams and the 2 athletes to the maximum use of quotas. There are such strong fishermen as Mikhail Chepelak, Thomas Chepelak, Josef Folkin. 2 Russian teams have in its ranks numerous champions and medalists of the world and Russia contests: Alexander Panchurkin and Alexander Vorobyov, Alexei Ivashkov, Dmitry Davidov, who took the gold at the Open Championship of the Czech Republic 3 years ago. Delegation is headed by honored coach of Russia, Andrei Chernov. Alexei Shanin is here too, because he is the coach of the Krasnodar region, and 3 of his countrymen are in the delegation. Croatia team, winners of the World Championships, the leaders in the rating of Croatia League competition. Mario Matjasic among them, the permanent representative of the organizing committee for the Trout Union Cup and a wonderful fisherman. Romania has chosen its quota completely, 2 teams and the 2 fishermen for the individual competition. Cristian Rizea, bronze medalist of Trout Union Cup 2014, is in the Romanian delegation. The team from Belarus, Trout Union Cup medalists Evgeny Sedakov, Koldychevsky Nikolai and Sergei Romanov. The teams of Poland, Moldova, Ukraine and debutant Trout Union Cup team of Bosnia and Herzegovina and Latvia consist of strong trout fishermen, 92 athletes. And now imagine what a section of the river is needed to provide the required number of sectors for such an impressive number of fishermen. But the organizers found an elegant solution. As people say, Valaska Missouri is the city of the 3 rivers. Vsetin Bechva and Rajnovska Bechva merge, forming the river Bechva. It has over 60 kilometers in the run into one of the most famous rivers of Eastern Europe, Moravia. The 2 zones A and B have been marked in the city, and 2, C and D, on the periphery. The flow and the relief of the river in the first 2 zones are formed by artificial dunes. Sectors are more equal than in zones C and D, where the differences are more pronounced and the relief is determined by natural thresholds. Still, the main thing is that any area was a complete set of conditions, and as who, when and where gets is difficult to predict. Each fisherman of the team must be ready for competing on both calm lowland river and on the rapids with rifts. In those 2, albeit similar but still so different rivers. All that above means that it is impossible to identify definitely a single type of a fish and bait. This intrigue was strengthened by organizers even more by launching competition areas with brook and rainbow trout, which are known to behave differently. Local char is also to count. This is Stefan Mincher, Bulgarian fisherman of Stara Vidri Club, one of the organizers of Trout Union Cup in Bulgaria. The tournament takes regular and active helpers in many countries. In general, Bechva water inhabits traditional fish for Central Europe. Such fish diversity and a large number of fishermen explains the need for a large number of judges. And in this case, they should not just give out coupons for fish caught, but to be able to distinguish between species, because not every fish comes to count. In addition, it is necessary to determine the fish that are caught out of the rules, for example, hooked on wrong way or touching the ground. Rules, but here Stanislav Pernitsky again found a solution. At the competitions of the Trout Union Cup level, with many participants in, there is a problem where to find judges. Usually, not only the members of the local fishing communities are invited, but also the students of technical schools and universities perform as judges. Now we can see the usual briefing held among students. And these guys, we can confirm, reacted responsibly and seriously to the study and duties. They were the reasons for that. Bubble by Andres Alexandra. I've never got it before. Good fish, but unfortunately no voucher for it yet. Only trout. That matters. During the training sets, non-core fish bite so lovely, and there was such a lot of it that a concern arose whether it will interfere much during the competition. But once the trout was stocked into the river, the problem gone by itself. As you know, the rainbow trout is very aggressive, and to the delight of the participants, it scattered the traditional inhabitants of the Bechva River to the corners. The size of stocked trout were between 200 and 800 grams. Trout of this size supply good fishing with a variety of lures and different types of fishing techniques, and resist excitedly when playing. Besides, it takes places across the whole river bed, not only pits and baths. Mostly, that describes brook trout. During 2 days of competitions, there were stocked 300 kilograms of brook trout and 1,000 kilograms of rainbows. It should be noted that when the fish is too much, it's just as bad as when it's too few. In both cases, it's increasing a possibility of mere luck, particularly if there are sectors aquariums. These elements of victory by luck has to be reduced in any ways. The draw is one of them. There is a tradition to play in lucky numbers similar to an omen not to shave before game, as well as to explain victory and defeat with wrong starting number. But the system of the draw is based on the way that the sum of the starting numbers of each fisherman during the day is the same. That is, for example, if you took out the first number in one start, the next one is sure to be the last. The calculation of the amount of fish stocking also serves the same purpose. On one hand, it should be equal for any sector, and on the other, good result is not determined by whether the fisherman got up in the so-called bath or not. Czech organizers managed to find a good balance. There were about 4,500 stocking trout, approximately 46 fish for one sector. During those days of competition, there were caught almost 3,000 of them, and even some unusual records took their place. The sportsman has got 45 fish in the first round, an incredible amount of it. I think it's a record. We have to repeat, 45 trout in 45 minutes. Jiří Špada, from Czech team number 1, distinguished himself during the second day of competition. Another area on the outskirts of the city demonstrated another absolutely incredible record. Competitor from Poland managed 13 fish in the last round. This amount sounds really huge for such a difficult last fourth round. Please note, Lukasz did not stand over all the time in the aquarium, as the fishermen call some lucky sectors, especially where fish accumulate. He skillfully passed several sectors, achieving a result with 13 trout in the fourth start. However, one of the features of trout competition is that one successful start does not guarantee overall victory, especially in such a brilliant society that gathered on the banks of the Bečva. Any team is capable of getting ahead. All of them possess the experience and skills of stream trout style. All of them know how to build a strategy, have an idea of what to expect from rivals. So, lively and capricious stocked trout of two types, diverse sectors in each of 4 areas. There is no obvious favorite lures, but there are 92 trained fishermen. Each of them is ready to compete with anybody, regardless of one's regalia, because many of them have enough of their own. Motivation is not only sport. Tournament prizes are quite solid. In other words, there is no foregone conclusion. Sport excitement is literally poured around in the spring air of Bečva. Tomorrow is the first start.